Peace, love, and blessings. What's good? It's Drums, Controllerise Live once again. Another week, another session, another Monday, another batch of good-ass vibes for you and yours, man. I'm excited. Fire-ass show as always. Got an opening set from Peachy. It's an anime set, which is super tight. I think you're going to dig that a lot. The conversation this week is going to be also very, very tight. We got DJKnotts on deck, the creator of the hip-hop Gives Back Foundation. So we're going to get into community building and talk about, you know, some examples of that, some fucking really awesome examples of that local to all my folks in Atlanta. So, yeah. And I got nothing new on another set from Brooklyn and the homie K of the Foundation, the OG, to close us out at the end of the show. So get ready. Brace for impact. Motherfucking seatbelts on and crash dummy helmets and all that good stuff, man. Yeah. On that note, I'm gonna get into the first set. Enjoy the vibrations, you know what I mean? And I don't know, just fucking be happy. Life is good, man. Life is amazing, B. We out here. Controllerise.
Gotta give hands. See me in the club, bitch. I'm a grown man. If you saw my fans on, finna walk out the door. Put 5 on the back seat. I'm gon' blow. Got the blue pack shoe. Bought it right out the door. I left the door good. Dope boys all gone, man. If you really acting, you gotta give hands. See me in the club, bitch. I'm a grown man. If you see me at the party, then it must be black. Cost $36, all black. Yes. My niggas lace up and we get close. I ain't fuck cold brights cause my fans fucking gold. Got blue top service from a fly like kites. So sleep in the day, go to parties at night. Man, I'm from B-Tech and all my niggas get locked. Man, we be-sporting gas and we throw away Nikes. You wanna get right, stop buying those Nikes and move fucking Vans and you bet you look icy. My Vans on, but they look like sneakers. My Vans on, but they look like sneakers. Red coat, white, but my Vans look clean.
Man down. I was stressed out when I stepped out. I was stressed out on the damn rain. nigga is a damn clown. Might as well toss him in the circus. Squares all over the circle. Squares all over the purple. This nigga's a renegade. Niggas is salty and sweeter than lemonade. And when I get home to the streets is my dinner plate. With keys on the interstate. Oh. I got a sack with 100 grams. But I got a stack up 100.
Three.
Everything automatically goes to B flat.
I'm not looking. You see, I took my glasses off.
Massacred, murdered it. You feel me? Listen, It's just the first set. It's the first thing. This is how we started up. Shout out to Peachy for that fire ass set. The anime vibes were what we needed. That was appropriate. That was exactly how it should have been, man. I don't think that shit could have went no better, to be real with you. So I want to jump into, I'm actually gonna mix it up, man. I was supposed to play another new set next, but I'm gonna hop into the OGK of the Foundation. And yeah, he's gonna play you some classic, magnificent, amazing ass records. So strap in, keep them same seatbelts on. You feel me? And enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. K of the Foundation.
Here we go.
your car and we popped your steering wheel and left it up by Six Flags. My whole family full of headland hustlers. Now tell your mama y'all ready to move again, cause we ain't number trouble. My auntie say that I don't pay attention and call the law when she drink and think that that's gonna make me listen. Man, I got cousins from the dirty south who'll walk up to this police car, open the door and let me out. Me and my family got the most game. Just to get close to me, brothers come around and repeat my slang. I run this town just like Michael Jordan. Every time I say what's up, my whole clique say just East Point. Brothers come around giving us pounds, cause our family own land in this town. Man, you could be black with an act who got a boat full of smack. You wouldn't sell a sack. We ain't nothing but some hit, man. 50,000 for a hit. Tell the DJ spin a hit. East Point greatest hit. All the ladies need a hit. Dungeon family we the hit. We drop nothing but them hit.
Cool with you right here with you, and we gon' blast with you.
been a nigga this good for this long, this hood, or this pop, this hot, or this strong, with so many different flows. This one's for this song, the next one I switch up, this one will get bit up. These fucks too lazy to make up shit, they crazy, they don't paint pictures, they just trace me. You know what? Soon they forget where they pluck. They hold style from the try to reverse the outcome. I'm like, huh? I'm not a biter, I'm a writer for myself and others. I say a big verse, I'm only bigging up my brother, bigging up my barrel. I'm big enough to do it, I'm that barrel. Plus I know my own flow is foolish, so them rings and things you sing about, bring them out. It's hard to yell when the barrel's in your mouth. I'm in new sneakers, dual seaters, few divas. What more can I tell you? Let me spell it for you. You know what I'm about? Flying birds down south, moving wet off the step, purple rain in a drought. Young H.O. pitch the yay faithful. Even if they patrol, I make payroll.
Let me show you. Said I got so much to show you. Come close to me, let me hold you. Come close to me and let's slow it down. You know.
That's it. Big shout out to the Controllerise community, K of the Foundation, K of Nicolay and K of the Rue, K in Houston right now. So y'all bless up. Stolen Drums, peace.
Big bless, OG. Big bless, OG. Man, y'all heard that shit? Did y'all hear that shit? Sheesh. Sheesh. Man, so shout out to K. I appreciate you taking the time, OG, and fucking throwing that set together for us. That shit was a musical journey. I'm inspired. I really want to cut this whole live stream off and just make beats right now, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to continue the live stream and have this great conversation. You feel me? Because that's important. Because hip hop is what this whole shit is about. Hip hop gives back. And I got a gentleman that's been putting in work for a long time in the Atlanta community that can speak to just that sentiment. Because he created the Hip Hop Gives Back Foundation. So without further ado, let's jump into this convo and get it started. Peace, peace. What's up, y'all?
What's up?
Peace, family. How y'all?
Yeah, man. So we got, as always, Miss Empress Ra, the homie Black Cubes.
Chill.
And the local OG. You feel me? International OG. Now it's the DJ. What's good with you?
Ha. Cool, and family. Just happy to be here. I appreciate the invite. Always salute what y'all been doing since the beginning. So yeah, just happy to be here and impart a few words of what I know, and
Big
hopefully
bless, man.
find some more people to build with.
I'm honored to have you on deck. As always, man, Ra always comes through with the crazy guests. And when she brought your name up, and then we did the homework, it was like, come on, come on. How could we not? You feel me? We're talking about community. Who better to speak to than this man? So here we are, man. Here we are, hanging out, having this conversation. So the Hip Hop Gives Back Foundation.
Yes.
I know you can do a better job at this than me, but in short, you guys have been using hip hop culture to give back to the community by doing initiatives involving youth and the principles and foundation of hip hop. Elaborate. Tell the people what they need to know, please, sir.
Oh man, you pretty much hit it on the head. That was great. Our foundation is basically something that we started in 2015. And like you said, it's focused on youth programs based in hip hop. So we teach life skills using hip hop. We teach people about understanding themselves using hip hop. And we also extended that now to include mental health programs for not just youth, but also young adults as well. So we do different mentoring calls and video calls on a weekly basis just to help young men find a way to get out those thoughts that they have inside. So that's just what we've been doing recently. Previously to that, we also had hiphopgisback.com, which a lot of people get mixed up because the names are so close. And the focus of that was to highlight the positive side of the hip hop culture. So whenever you have people in the industry or the culture who give back, we highlight them on our website. We've been doing that part.
So not only are you in the streets at the local level, bringing up the youth, you're also shining light on the real and unlearning the shenanigans, I guess is a good way to put that, man. That's a beautiful thing. That's a really beautiful thing. This entire episode is based on community building, and I feel like you're a great example. We're going to jump right into some of these talking points, man. So this is a question for everybody on stream, but I definitely want to start with you, Knotts, if that's cool. What is community building to you?
Community building to me is when you have a, any size group, whether it be two, actually a group is three or more. So 3 or more people who have the same goal in mind, and they put together their work to make that happen on a consistent basis. We can divulge and get deeper, but at the root of it, that's really what community building is. You're building to uplift the community in a variety of ways, and most of them are socioeconomic related.
Miss Empress Ra, you want to jump on that? You got some input?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. No, I think he nailed it on the head. For me, community is really just focusing on, what's immediately in front of you. There's so many large, big scale problems that we try to tackle on, but really it starts at home. And so before, in order for us to grow in a positive direction, just focus on what's in front of you, your neighbor, who's across the street. And that to me is what I think about when I think of community, your county, zone. You know, that is community building, focusing on where you are right here.
Straight up. Q's, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I felt like everybody summed it up pretty well.
Word up. We got a couple comments. I see Deep B said like minds, common goals. Noodle Hopper says, you know, this is great conversation. I think community building to me is taking initiative internally, right? So everybody says you got to have knowledge of self and you have to start internally to make things happen externally. And community building to me is doing that with a group of people. So versus us saying, oh, this thing is wrong or this thing is bad and we don't like it and people should change it, we look into ourselves and we take steps in real life, in real time, to make the changes that we want. You know what I'm saying? To create the community that we want to create. That's community building to me. Right. Word up. Hell yeah. So second point that's on this list is how is building an empowering community paramount in the progress of the society that we live in? And this is open. Anybody can jump in, just, you know, give me the insight.
I think one of my opinions is strong people don't need strong leaders. And through community building, it's no need for a pyramid. It's very lateral. It's like the community is addressing the conflicts within the community itself, and through that addressing, it takes the stances on the things that it needs to change directly.
Word up. Accountability, horizontal. I love it.
So for me, when I think about how it's important to empower our community, I think about what people need to see. People need to see people that look like them, which I think, you know, why I love Hip Hop Gives Back, because we can relate. We can relate to the message and the story a lot, you know, and it's even with Controllerise. You know, Controllerise is a community of people where we feel comfortable with each other. You know, we are actually in a space where we know that people can listen to us. There's love, you know, and that right there is powerful, which why it makes sense that we created this platform in the meantime and between time, you know, with everything going on, to be like, okay, well, we have a community. It wouldn't be fair for us, you know, the music is crazy, you know, the beats is crazy, everything is dope, but the message beneath it all is more important. And people are more inclined to listen in when they can see themselves in the person sharing that message. And that's, I feel, way more empowering than what you see on TV when the person that's talking doesn't even look like you.
Big try to speak for us too.
And try to speak for us, right?
Facts. Yeah.
One of the things I always loved about Controllerise was there's no judgment. When you go there, it's no judgment at all. It's like everybody is everybody. This is who I am. I'm comfortable in it. You know what I'm saying? I respect you for what you do. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. So I've always appreciated that. Anytime I stepped into any Controllerise event, it's been a consistent thing that is really part of the foundation of what y'all have done. So it kind of matches up with what you're saying about empowering the community. I think the next step after that is when we talk about empowering the community, it's really about creating solutions. Like for a long time, I feel like we'll find answers to stuff, and it'll be great for like us four here. But when you talk about creating solutions and empowering the community, that whatever you're coming up with can be duplicated in communities all around the world. And I think that's where a lot of our focus should be continuing on to and really start to make happen. It's starting to happen, but we need more of that.
I got a question for you, Knotts. So how do you, this might be a sidebar, but how do you address the obstacles that come with, you know, the hip hop community? Because there's a lot of negative connotations that come with the genre and the culture. You know, a lot of us choose to focus on the positive, but especially in light of recent events, hip hop has been given a bad name. So what are your thoughts on how to navigate or circumnavigate, you know, the negativity like misogyny and just the bad part of hip hop as we try to give back to our community?
It's been like that since the beginning. They always try to use hip hop as a negative tool. They use it as a fear tactic because the people who use it like that, including the media, mainly the media, they were making money from it. So they've always done that. You know, from doing the research that I was doing and talking to my OGs about who've been doing a similar type of work, they're like, yo, that's been going on since the beginning. So what we do, we focus on the culture part. We don't get into the individuals because individuals are still people. People still make mistakes. They're not perfect. But the culture is what we focus on and say, hey, this is what we can use to inspire and empower our people who actually care about hip hop. Because before we used to try to, we're going to change the world and tell them about what hip hop does. And it's like, it's not about that. The people who don't care, don't care. The people who do care are the ones who need to hear these stories. They need to see us doing the work. And I think that's how we circumnavigate some of the negativity. We still catch some of it, when big things go on the news, but it still comes down to the culture more than any one individual.
Gotcha. And so I see you out in the streets, man. Like, I feel like every time I catch you on Instagram, you're doing some dope event. I know COVID has, slowed down things a little bit, but what's the most interesting event that you've done with Hip Hop Gives Back?
We've actually teamed up with a few other organizations. We started something called Our Mission, Our Voice, and basically it's about voter registration. That's
nice.
been pushed. Thank you. For the last few months, we actually have an event coming up August 8th, Saturday. Yeah,
okay.
That's the 8th. Okay, so we're doing that down in what's that spot south of the city? Not Macon, before Macon. It's outside, a little bit closer. It just slipped my mind. Anyway, it'll come to me in a second. But it's outside the city limits. And a lot of the things that we run into is people do a lot of events in Atlanta, as they should, but there's a lot of other outlying areas that don't get any kind of real attention and support. So that's why we're taking it. Riverdale, told you to come to me. It's down in Riverdale this Saturday. So that'll be our second voter registration event. It's myself, Calvin, coordinator. He does a lot of work with Russ. Char Bates, she's a big time supporter at Fort Knox. A-Town legend, he'll be a part of that as well. So that's one of the things that we've been a part of. And then also another organization called My Vote is Hip Hop. They're doing a Save the Block party Sunday, which I just put on my page, and I'll just be out there to support them with that. We're just providing what are they calling like nutrition bags and things like that, help keep people healthy and to build up their immune system. They're doing that, a little bit of back to school, a little bit of everything. So it's really just about connecting with the right people. And that's what a name like Hip Hop Gives Back is allowed us to connect with people like that.
That's beautiful.
Fire.
Thank you.
And what I saw a joint on your page about back to school joint. Is that the same one?
Possibly. Back to school's come out of everywhere.
Right.
Oh, it might have been. It probably was that one. But yeah, that's this Sunday. But with back to school being so weird right now, I'm like, we giving kids paper and they may never even use it,
Right.
So
right.
It's like you got to hand out iPads and we ain't at that level yet. So
Erratic by Nature says that he needs some events out in Lithonia. So I'm gonna just plug that out there.
Oh, we can do that.
So how can we be a part? What can we as a Controllerise community, because we brought you on for a reason to share with our community. I'm sure that there's people in the chat that are interested in helping, supporting. What can we do?
Use your resources, which you guys have plentiful of. Your business relationships, your partnerships. You guys have done stuff with such a wide variety. I'm not even gonna call individual names, but from the corporate people to the political to the local people as well. Lean on them and simply ask them, so what are you doing about social justice? You know what I mean? Or better yet, say, what's your plan for giving part in helping out the social justice movement right now? And actually, all of these companies, they need to have a plan. If they don't already, they're behind. But now, if they don't, you guys can help them curate something on what it looks like and really say, hey, it's great that you want to give money and we'll take it. Y'all will take it too. But it's really got to be a plan behind what we're trying to accomplish. So with that, talk about what's important to you guys as a community, what changes you want to see happen, and move from there.
Nice. So Noodle Hopper in the chat just said, I'm an Asian guy who loves hip hop, but I also hate seeing people who use that genre to benefit themselves, but turn around and talk shit about the culture it came from. Mm-hmm. So we all know hip hop it runs the world. Mm-hmm. And, we know where it came from, how it started and who created it. But now in 2020, everybody got a hold of it. When it comes to your initiatives and what it's about, talk a little bit more about how it expands worldwide with the culture being all over.
It's a tougher question.
It is tough, but you might not have just whatever you feel.
I'm gonna flow with it because when I think about it and hip hop being a global force that it is, there's really nothing like it. It reminds me, it's like since hip hop's inception in 1973.
Mm-hmm.
Don't kill me if I got that wrong. But in 1970, there's only been 2 other inventions that has had a bigger socioeconomic impact on the world than hip hop. One is a cell phone, and one is a computer. That's it. Ain't no other invention bigger than hip hop since then. When you talk about affecting people, affecting countries, affecting governments, affecting economies, hip hop is third only behind those other 2. You know what I mean? I mean, if you want to throw wars in there, okay, maybe, but still, hip hop has that power and influence. So when you say using it to impact other communities around the world, it's just a tough question because so many different areas are different. You know, as long as we stick closer to the pillars of what it started and what was it about, and understanding this is how you inspire and empower people and bring them together, then I think we're going in the right direction. And I know that's a more simplified way of doing it, but it's just hard to say it without saying what part of the world are we talking about? What's going on there? We in Venezuela? We in Brazil? It just depends.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. Like, I don't know, because like, was it last year, Drums? We went to Japan for the first time, and it's just mind blowing because, you know, America is going through what it goes through, but sometimes we get more love internationally, you know, from the people that are not from here, you know, where it came from, and people who are not of color love on our culture way more. But then when you see what's happening now and people's true colors coming to light, it's like, you know, it's like a stab, and not even the back in the front, you know, so it's tough because of course this, as creators, this is our art. This is what we do. And we're not going to stop. And of course we're going to continue, but then to hear and feel the negative behind it, just, you know, kind of blows a little bit.
Fact.
I wanted to jump. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I said I keep having this conversation even in my house with my wife and kids about how, you know, the popular narrative of what we do is so different from the reality, right?
Yeah.
So from your regular life to how you should speak, to how you should carry yourself, to the food that you should eat, to the music that you should like, to the influences that you have, there are people who control the stuff that we see and hear and read that have opinions on those things that have absolutely nothing to do with us in reality. It's the weirdest thing. But I think because we live inside of the bubble and we're so much a focus of all of the programming and stuff, you know, the people outside of the bubble have a clearer view. So they can see our culture for what it is in a way that is really difficult to do if you watch MTV or BET or whatever else we watch here. You know what I'm saying? So I think maybe that's why that shit happens. But I just wanted to interject that because it's just something we had just been talking about recently.
No, that's definitely a good conversation. It's a real conversation. You know, I'm glad y'all are having it, especially in your home like that. You know, it's tougher now to have those conversations unless I'm in a academic type of establishment and I'm coming in for that reason. You know, a lot of times we get so caught up in trying to make money or do whatever goals we're trying to do. You forget about that part of it and how we're actually viewed as a culture. You know, we used to have a program called Minorities in the Media that we did at high school and colleges in person, where we would bring awareness to the kids about using their voice, you know, telling your story to really combat all of the negative connotations that were put out there. And it was really about them using their voice and understand like, yo, you can tell your truth. And as we can see, it's made a big difference.
Facts. I think that truth is the only reason Controllerise exists. I think it's the reason why people love it, and, you know, the reason why it's done what it's done. I feel like that's also the same reason that your organizations exist and they do what they do. I think that's like a good example of like shifting the narrative. This is another kind of talking point from a macro view and what you see at the end, you know what I mean? Through the media and through TV and all that stuff, to a micro view, controlling that and then shifting that from like, look at TV to like this. Look at this live stream with 4 people on it that represent, you know, 4 different parts of a neighborhood almost, or a city or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are very much smaller groups, but the smaller you get, the more niche you get, the more tuned in you get closer to culture, and you can see the real work that's happening in the community. Everybody's always screaming about, we need to, but we are in real time. And like you're an example of it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and that's important. So tell me what you guys think about that. Do you think I personally believe that there's a shift from macro to micro, and we're seeing it. But do y'all feel the same way? Yeah, just give me input on that.
I definitely do. Just from the amount of different organizations in different cities, from the people who do like the Cop Watch type shows to the different organizations in different cities. When you got people like Tamika Mallory and my song doing anything in New York, you have people like Shar Braids and Attorney Griggs out here fighting the good fight. And it's like you said, if you use the United States as an example of that neighborhood, those are just two cities right there alone. And then, you know, I could run down people in Chicago doing the same work, in Newark and LA doing the same type of work. So it's down to that micro level, but we need that, because when it gets to that macro level, we're looking at it as a whole, basically more like a universe than instead of a neighborhood. It's hard for people to attach to it. You know what I mean? And just like, you know, with social media, it just builds from, it's a groundswell. You know, that's how we found out about Breonna. That's how we found out about so many people and the way they were killed. You know, a lot of that stuff is still being not being forced. It's being supported by people who come from hip hop. So the micro level is key for a lot of these things to have any kind of real lasting go to them. And I really don't want us to forget about that part of it. That's still hip hop. That's still our voice doing that.
I got a question. It's kind of, well, let me answer your question. It was about the micro community. Is it effective? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I was saying, do you see the shift?
I do. Absolutely. Absolutely. I kind of thought of another question based off of what Knotts said. I hope it doesn't tangent, but what are your thoughts on people who are in the hip hop community that so there's like some type of pressure for hip hop artists to use their voice, you know, and their platform. And if they don't, it's almost as if they're judged and they're critiqued. What are your thoughts on that? So for example, let's talk about Kendrick Lamar, right? And Kendrick Lamar is known for his voice about any social injustice that are happening in our society. This year in particular, he has been silent, which I'm not mad at, because he's human and he's not entitled, you know what I'm saying, to give us what we want. But I've noticed on Twitter and social media, a lot of people were just like, well, where's Kendrick at, you know? Or whenever J. Cole decided to, you know, come out from silent, it was in regards to something that wasn't about social justice. So what are your thoughts on, you know, hip hop being our community and us looking at kind of like our forefronts when they do or don't say something?
You're asking that question to me, right?
I am asking that question to you, but just based off of what you said, yes.
I was kind of not surprised, because as we all know, Kendrick takes his time with everything.
Right.
And I talk about him in particular. So it's just like, the movement took off so quickly this time around with the protesting and the rioting and the changes that we started to see so quickly. When I was out there at almost every march, when Trayvon Martin was killed and everything that was happening back then, 2014, 2015, it was more of a slow burn. This year, it was like protests, tear up the city. Oh, we need to change the legislation. You know what I'm saying? And it was like the growth of the internet and I don't mean to say growth of the internet, but the growth of social media and having that influence on governments and people finding different allies who weren't as vocal before, and the way it's moved forward, I couldn't be happier about it. But sometimes, like I said, when you're an artist, you want to take it all in and then truly, you know what I'm saying, digest what's going on before you try to say, oh, let me say how I feel, but then also put it to a beat. And then I have a certain quality and level of quality that you guys are used to. You know what I mean? So it's not that Kendrick hasn't said anything. It's that Kendrick hasn't said anything yet. And I think we got to be somewhat more patient when it comes to people like that. You know
I'm so glad you said that. That's exactly how I felt, but I just wanted to hear your thoughts, like mine. I love it.
Yeah,
that's all for me.
Q, you got anything you want to add to that?
I think with the shift from macro to micro, I think I see it, and it's very apparent, and it's also necessary. I mean, if you look at a business model like McDonald's, where they're serving hundreds of thousands of people every day, there's a lot of corners that are cut. A lot of people who aren't getting 100% service and not getting their needs serviced. So the need of smaller communities is kind of being made that way so that we can service the needs of the unheard, just like hip hop was created. The whole purpose of it, like with graffiti, people like writing their name so that you could see that shit and know that they existed. I think that's what's happening now. Like my homie said, with the internet speaking as loud as it is, all of those things are just making that micro shift more apparent, even if people don't really recognize it as such. I think it's kind of like internal now.
Word up. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's a good way to put it, man. You can see like the kind of internal work that narrative kind of reflecting not only through like social media, but through people, right? Like I'm having more meaningful conversations with people. And then when you check in with folks, they're learning about self. Knowledge of self is like a popular thing right now. That used to be some shit you can only hear from like the dudes on the corner. Like that shit is very much mainstream media. Knowledge of self is necessary. And it's kind of a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
Very beautiful. That awakening. Real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
Let's just keep the momentum going. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just gotta keep it going.
So speaking of microeconomics and being individually vigilant, powerful, and, you know, handling your business yourself, we need to talk about putting your money where your mouth is individually.
Yeah.
And I got Miss Empress Raw to bring y'all that message.
Well, thank you so much. Oh, I got a whole zoom out. This is fancy.
Oh yeah.
I need a slogan. Anyway, it's your girl Empress Ra, and I'm bringing you this week's "Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is." Unfortunately, this week it's not as good news as it was last week. However, we still gotta, support when we can. Somebody posted online that a woman recently just got murdered in her house, and she was 6 months pregnant. Her baby is in critical condition, and unfortunately she passed away. And it's a devastating story. And someone within our community, so we have to support. Once we saw the article and the GoFundMe, we knew that we couldn't just pass it by. So they're trying to raise $50,000 in funding just to help the family as they are going through this process, as well as the baby is in ICU. So I'll drop the GoFundMe in the chat for you guys. So make sure you check it out and read the story, find out more about it, and support if you can. And that is this week's Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is. And I'm Empress Ra.
Word up. Yeah, no, it was heavy this week, man. I mean,
yeah, super heavy.
And it's going to be that way, like, because it's work and it's not all going to be, smiles and rainbows and shit. Sometimes it's going to be ugly. But that's, I think, when we need to dig in the most and go the hardest. So this is a perfect example of that. And I'm glad you got to bring that message to the good people. Shout out to Cubes for giving that to us to give to y'all. For real. So we're going to drop that link in here. And we need y'all to support, man. We need y'all to support. This is, I think this is an opportunity for us to do some shit that's bigger than just any one person. And we're definitely moving in the right direction. I'm proud of this shit every week. Always come away super inspired, man. So yeah. We talked a bit about actions we could take. We talked a bit about the shift from macro to micro, I should say. We talked about community building. We talked a lot about Controllerise and Hip Hop Gives Back, but I also want to talk about Session In. Also want to talk about Soul Food Cypher, other groups, folks that are doing amazing work in this hip hop space. You know what I mean? We can't, omit the work that people are doing. We gotta signal boost and pump and push that stuff, man, because that's how it grows. The narrative is ours to control as long as we put in the work to control that shit. Because if we don't, then random people will do weird shit, and that's kind of why we're having this conversation. So we definitely don't want to let that happen. Before we jump into the next segment, which is a great segment, this moment of happiness for this week. Anybody got anything they want to input?
I just want to echo. First of all, appreciate y'all having me on. But I was gonna bring a Soul Food Cypher because that's family.
Right.
But yeah, you basically covered it. We need to support them, support organizations like them, support when they do their fundraising drives. When they're out in the community, we got to show up and support. You know what I mean? It's the work that they're doing I'm just proud of and just happy to know them and have been in different scenarios like this where me and Alex have been on conversations together. And, you know, us and Hip Hop is back and so forth. We're going to continue to do more and more things together. But I'm just so proud of them, you know what I mean? For making the waves that they had, the connections that they've had. It's a perfect example of an organization that you can stand behind and feel the quality that deals with it.
Right.
Yeah. And the only other thing other than that, man, is just we got to focus on the substance instead of the symbolism. A lot of times we get caught up in the symbolism of people doing things for us as a culture and showing their support, but it doesn't last. It's really about the substance right now. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
That's what's up. No, that's a
Powerful.
good one to take home, man. Definitely a good one to take home. Is that individual shit too? Like that, you know, that's a personal thing. Like, forgive my language, but I was also having a conversation with my wife, and I forgot what the thing was, man. I was trying to make a decision, and I was asking her, I was like, yo, is this, forgive my language, bro, but you know, this shit is real. I was like, is this some real nigga shit to do? And then like, I thought about the I asked her, so I talked to my wife, man. I asked her, you know what I'm saying, and we worked it out. And then we decided it was, so I did. Oh, it was calling my friends on their bullshit. And I was like, is this some real nigga shit to do? Should I do that? And she was like, absolutely. And that's what I did. But yeah, I say that to say, when you're moving around in life and you're in these situations where you get that little feeling and shit, and you start to think like, damn, I should ask yourself that question. Is this some real nigga shit to do? Is this some real shit to do? Is this some real life gangster shit to do? And if it's not, don't. And if it is, do it. Even if it's fucking uncomfortable. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm glad you said that, man. I'm glad you said that. So, Cubes. Let's talk about this week's moment of happiness.
Oh, you're on mute.
Shit. Yo.
Are we hear you now?
Check. Hey, this week's moment of happiness hitting like a Hotep DM. We trying to Netflix and build, y'all. So check it out. Netflix, man. A lot of us tune in. I'm sure a lot of us stream their shit, use their platform. And they're donating or giving 100 million to black-led banks. And I think that's like a major moment of happiness. They're shifting 2% of their 5.1 billion cash assets. So that's like crazy money being moved. And it's going to like create a lot of like equitable opportunities within our communities. A lot like the Local Initiative Support Corporation and also the Hope Credit Union. It's a lot of big shit going on.
Big facts.
I'm gonna work on that that outro though. Like get like raw.
Yo, slid in like a Hotep DM. I started laughing so hard. Oh my gosh, I loved it. I love the intro. I gotta work on mine.
Right. No, we out here. This shit is tight. Yeah, man.
Tell I thought
Links
about
in the
that
description. Hell yeah. Links in the commentary, I should say. Myself on Facebook, because I think they blocked us because we put 2 links in the commentary. Facebook is, yo, man, I promise you. I'll be one to like, I wish I could just like shoot the one with Mark sometimes, bro. Like, it's ridiculous, man.
Anybody that does live streaming, y'all know that this is the struggle. It's just so much goes into it. I really miss just going to a venue and plugging in and pressing play.
Facts.
Because man, it's so many issues you never know. But we doing it though. We out here.
Yep. In real life, man. In real life. So moments of happiness, great vibes, good energy. Let's take it over to Brooklyn to chop it up with the homie Nothing New and get into some of that great energy. Before we do that though, I know I want to, make sure everybody got their sign offs or whatever together, because Nothing New is going to take us home. So, last convo.
We don't got no music this week?
Music? Oh, shit, I'm tripping. Yeah, what?
Ooh.
How did we miss that? Man, we almost did it to ourselves.
Good vibrations.
All right, yeah,
I don't know if
vibes.
we have anything. Did we?
We do. The homie Brain Orchestra just dropped The Wizard Scroll. It comes with a fucking comic book. A comic
that's crazy.
Book. Right? Yeah, this shit is
Brain
crazy.
Orchestra?
I think he got vinyls too. Yeah, I'm gonna drop that shit in the chat. Hold up. I'm gonna drop it in the chat right now.
I got
go check him out. I appreciate it. Go check out Brain, man, with the new project. Again, like I said, that shit comes with a comic book. Like, who's doing that?
That's dope.
Right.
Quality content. Okay.
Super quality.
That's the type of content we need.
Right.
Big facts.
Hey, yo, shout out to Peachy and Kay that went on earlier. Make sure y'all hit them with the Cash App. You know I'm gonna stay plugging them in the chat, but both of those sets were just beyond fire.
Crazy.
So I just wanted to shout them out again. Thank you, because Peachy's in Korea.
Wow.
Right.
And he's low key famous.
Right.
And Kay is the OG. Like, just check out his track record. I mean, Jesus. So make sure you guys show them all the love. They definitely deserve it.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all saw that during his set. I started cleaning up my office because that's just the vibe I caught. I unplugged the headphones and I was rocking. I was like, yo, I just feel like moving now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Now, Peachy brought us that gutter shit, and then Kay took us to church, man. That was it. That's what we needed.
Right.
And now we got nothing new to bring us home. You know what I'm saying? To get us moving around once again, man. He always high energy. This dude don't sit down.
Hey, what's up, Fulani? What's up? That's
Fulani, what up,
Fulani in the building. And Radic just dropped some new stuff too. Okay. All the homies is working. Tabby.
Yeah. And Fulani got new shit too.
And Fulani, yeah. Yo, Trey out here. Trey is holding it down. Shout out to Trey.
Big shout out to Trey.
Black Lord dropped new tracks. All right, we have to bring Trey in on his good vibrations. I'm gonna have to hit him because he know.
Facts.
He knows.
Hell yeah. Real quick, nothing new story. I don't know if y'all remember when I had the fucking studio in the shed. I don't know if y'all remember that. But
I remember that.
It was in a shed in the back. Nothing new came through and played the set, and he was like jumping up and down so hard. I thought that shit was gonna fall over. I was scared the whole time. I just want to tell y'all that shit. So just think about that when y'all watch my man go crazy, because he's definitely about to go crazy. All right, y'all. Let's get into it. Nothing new, ladies and gentlemen.
It ain't nothing really.
Damn, y'all feel it?
day. But watch the time eat away. Separate from the same eyes that don't see the same. Call it fake, some calling it growth. But here's a fact, we was working the times I think to myself what I'm turning the wheel for. Cause I want more, pockets empty, we still poor. I digress, switch up your mindset. Stay shining no matter how dim the lights get. Try to count me out and say it's over, please. Never till I'm overseas, you hold for 3. I'm always up and I hold the master plan, gotta keep it concealed. From these pawns can't tell if they fake or they with the team or I do it dolo alone. Fuck the fame, my mind assesses all the assets I own. Need to build the industries and establishing entities. The rest is for the birds, cause nothing else really interests. No, I mean it if I said it. No, it's all facts if I read it. And they ain't with us, then forget it. I'm only present when it's pleasant. You know, falling out with my said it, then I meant it. When I came round to my senses, and I can't waste another minute. Travel where it's pleasant, you know, falling out with my brethren. The light to the blind, the key to the closed mind. It's a long climb, but we'll get it. Looking at the clock, hands screaming, there's no time. Hope you on your job when there's cameras and showtime. Infinity, what I channel when life feels too hard to handle. I pour the blood and tears from the picture at different angles. Picture that, went from overlooked to aristocrat. When I walk the edge, people ask why he don't lie. See you rule by fear, it's in your eyes. Despite what you scrutinize, the vibe, do or die. And feel my words from your cerebrum to your spinal, and they sting cause they vital. Look like sitting, praying and wishing. If you used to taking L's, you ain't practiced addition. Must be vitamin deficient. And I see the maneuver, I don't see a good move, they must lack the vision. If I said it, no, it's all facts. If I read it, if they ain't with us, then forget it. I'm present when it's pleasant, you know. Falling out with my friends. Said it, then I meant it. When I came round to my senses, I can't waste another minute. I'm trying to travel where it's pleasant, you know. Falling out with my friends. It ain't nothing really.
Damn, y'all feel it?
Nothing is nothing.
Keep bouncing.
Peace and gratitude, bro. Snapped. That's what he does. He snaps like a champion. Shit, let's bring the homies back in before we fucking get up out of here. Bow bow. What up, though? Bring Raw back in too. She had to hop off real quick. We all out here. What's good, y'all? You gotta unmute.
I'm on mute.
Oh no, yeah, I got you now.
We out here.
Everybody in here? Word up. Just, I just want to sign off real quick. I want to give everybody a chance to say peace to everybody before we hop off.
Yeah, today was great. Thank you so much, Knotts, for, sharing your time with us. Let us know where we can find you and how we can support and all of that.
Once again, thank y'all for having me, family. This is very dope. Not even this. This is uber dope. Uber's above there. Yeah, Uber's above there. Nah, for real. I enjoyed this conversation. My personal, get in contact with me at DJKnotts on IG, and I think Facebook's the same link. But the easiest way is probably at Hip Hop Gets Back on everything. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Working on a Twitch. I'm not doing no TikTok.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also we're redoing the website because what's a website if it's not getting redone, and we're about to launch the relaunch the apparel store because we got a lot of new flavors that'll help support the programs, things like that. But yeah, a lot more on the way.
To it.
Yeah, man. Any way that Controllerise can help and collaborate, as we get back to whatever the new normal is, please do not hesitate. We got a whole mob. We out here, so for sure. I'm glad that we are able to connect in this way. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you again.
For sure. I mean, everybody knows where to find me all the time at DJ Empress Raw on all platforms. Find me on Twitch on Thursdays at 7 p.m. This week it'll be at 6 p.m. because Rick Ross versus 2 Chainz versus, and I'm a big Rick Ross fan. So, but it's all love. Love y'all. So
hell yeah. So on that note, as always, 3 things. Number 1, life is good. Number 2, time is precious. Number 3, make somebody smile because that shit is wavy. Drink water, eat fruit, stay safe, stay grateful, pay it forward. Look out for your folks. Fuck 12. That's the thing. Yeah,
Facts.
True indeed. Abolish the police. Abolish the police. And then, people get that confused, but this is facts. You can do it.
Research it before you
do the research. Multiple cities, not even just one, multiple cities have abolished the police as we know it. And crime has gone down because the police were the criminals. But yeah, on that note, man, we out of here. I want to say, big respect to everybody that played. Shout out to K the Foundation. Shout out to Peachy over there in Korea going crazy. Shout out to Nothing New. We didn't really get a chance to talk about him also being an activist and being very much involved with his local folks and his local politics. And shout out to In Plain Sight. Shout out to all my Brooklyn homies and everybody. Shout out to you for tuning into the stream, all of that, man. Big bless. Big bless. On that note, we gone. Be safe. See you in a week. Game Master Herb, what up with you, Brody? Love you. We out of here. Peace. Peace. Peace.
Peace.